Marcus Johnson adjusted his dark blue uniform shirt one more time before stepping out of his old Honda. The parking lot of Stellar Dynamics Corporation stretched before him like a sea of expensive cars. His beat-up vehicle looked out of place among the sleek sedans and luxury sports cars that belonged to the company's scientists and executives. He checked his phone. 11:45 p.m. His shift would start at midnight and run until 8 in the morning. It was not ideal, but it was work, and work meant he could keep paying rent on the small apartment he shared with his 8-year-old daughter, Maya. The massive glass building rose 30 stories into the night sky. Lights glowed from scattered windows where people worked late into the night. Marcus had heard that this company was special. They worked with alien technology that came to Earth 5 years ago when humanity made first contact with beings from another world. He walked through the employee entrance, showing his new security badge to the guard. The man barely looked up from his newspaper. "First night?" the guard asked. "Yes, sir," Marcus replied. "Elevator to the 15th floor. Ask for Betty. She'll show you around." Marcus rode the elevator up, watching the floors tick by. Each level he passed had laboratories and offices filled with equipment he did not recognize. Through the glass walls he could see strange devices that hummed with soft blue light. Betty turned out to be a woman in her 50s, with kind eyes and a tired smile. She had been cleaning this building for over 10 years, long before the aliens came. "You'll be working the top 15 floors," she explained as they walked down a hallway lined with offices. "Most folks go home by 10, but some of the big shots work all night. Don't bother them unless they ask for something." She showed him where to find the cleaning supplies, how to work the industrial vacuum cleaner, and which rooms needed special attention. The executive offices had expensive furniture and carpets that cost more than Marcus made in 6 months. "The CEO works on the 30th floor," Betty said as they rode the elevator up. "Dr. Victoria Hayes. Real smart lady but cold as ice. Been running this place since she was 30, that was 5 years ago." The 30th floor was different from the others. The hallway was wider, with marble floors instead of carpet. Paintings hung on the walls and everything looked more expensive. At the end of the hall was a corner office with floor-to-ceiling windows. "That's her office," Betty whispered. "She's usually gone by now, but sometimes she stays late. If the light's on, just knock before you go in. She doesn't like surprises." Betty left Marcus to finish his first night alone. He worked his way through the lower floors first, emptying trash cans, vacuuming carpets, and cleaning bathrooms. The work was familiar. He had done similar jobs before, and it gave him time to think. Marcus thought about Maya, who was staying with his neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, tonight. The old woman had offered to watch Maya for free when she learned about Marcus's new job. He would pick up his daughter in the morning and make her breakfast before she went to school. Life had been hard since Maya's mother left 2 years ago. Linda had said she was not ready to be a mother, that she needed to find herself. She moved to California and rarely called. Maya asked about her sometimes, but she had stopped expecting her mother to come back. Marcus had been laid off from his job at the auto repair shop 3 months ago. The owner said business was slow, but Marcus knew the real reason. The man had hired his nephew and needed to make room. Finding work had been difficult. Many places wanted younger men or people with college degrees. But Stellar Dynamics had hired him after a simple interview. The human resources woman had been impressed that he showed up on time, spoke clearly, and had no criminal record. She said good janitors were hard to find, especially ones willing to work nights. By 3 in the morning, Marcus had finished most of the building. Only the executive floor remained. He rode the elevator up with his cart of supplies, hoping Dr. Hayes had gone home. The light was still on in her office. Marcus knocked softly on the door frame. "Excuse me, ma'am. I'm here to clean your office." The woman behind the desk looked up from her computer. She was younger than Marcus had expected, with light brown hair pulled back in a neat style. She wore a dark business suit that looked expensive. Her eyes were green, but they seemed tired. "Come in," she said without smiling. "I'll be here for another hour." Marcus entered the office quietly. It was larger than his entire apartment, with a huge desk, leather chairs, and a view of the city. On one wall hung certificates and awards. On her desk, next to stacks of papers, sat a small object that seemed to glow with its own light. He began emptying the trash can, trying not to disturb her work. She typed rapidly on her computer, occasionally stopping to look at papers covered with diagrams and numbers he could not understand. "Long night?" Marcus asked softly as he dusted her bookshelf. Dr. Hayes glanced up, surprised. Most people did not make small talk with her. "Every night is long," she replied. Marcus nodded. "I understand. I've got a daughter at home. Sometimes, I work 2 jobs to make sure she has what she needs." Something in her expression softened slightly. "How old is she?" 8. Smart as a whip, but she worries about me. Says I work too much. Dr. Hayes looked at him more carefully. Most employees were either afraid of her or wanted something from her. This man seemed different. He cleaned her office with careful attention to detail, and his question had been genuine, not calculating. "What's her name?" she asked. "Maya. She wants to be a scientist when she grows up. Says she's going to discover new planets." For the first time that night, Dr. Hayes almost smiled. "That's a good dream." Marcus finished cleaning and prepared to leave. At the door, he turned back. "You look tired, ma'am. Don't forget to get some rest. Even scientists need sleep." After he left, Dr. Hayes sat in her quiet office for a long time. She could not remember the last time someone had shown concern for her well-being without wanting something in return. The janitor's simple kindness had surprised her. She looked at the alien artifact on her desk, a gift from the first ambassador who had visited Earth. It pulsed gently with soft blue light, responding to her emotions. Tonight, for reasons she could not explain, it seemed to glow a little brighter. Outside her window, the city slept while she continued her work, trying to unlock the secrets that would keep humanity safe among the stars. 3 weeks had passed since Marcus started working at Stellar Dynamics. He had settled into a routine that worked well for both him and Maya. Every morning at 8, he would drive home, wake her up, and make breakfast. They would eat together and talk about her homework before he walked her to the school bus stop. After Maya left for school, Marcus would sleep until late afternoon. Then he would pick her up, help with homework, make dinner, and spend time together until Mrs. Rodriguez came over to watch her. The schedule was tiring, but it gave him more time with his daughter than his old day job had. Marcus had learned the building well. He knew which offices stayed messy and which ones barely needed cleaning. He knew that the scientists on floor 22 always left coffee cups everywhere, and that the accounting department on floor 18 kept their space perfectly neat. Most importantly, he had learned Dr. Hayes' schedule. She arrived early in the morning and worked until late at night. Sometimes she was still there when he started his shift at midnight. Other times she would return to the office around 2 in the morning, as if she could not sleep and needed to work. On those nights, Marcus would make fresh coffee and leave a cup outside her door. She never asked for it, but the cup was always empty when he came back to clean her office later. Tonight was different. When Marcus reached the 30th floor, he could hear Dr. Hayes talking to someone. Her voice sounded frustrated. "The energy readings don't make sense," she was saying. "We're getting fluctuations that shouldn't be there." Marcus knocked on the doorframe and waited. "Come in," she called. Dr. Hayes was not alone. A tall man in a white lab coat stood next to her desk looking at papers covered with charts and numbers. Marcus recognized him as Dr. Frank Cooper, one of the senior scientists. "I'm sorry to interrupt," Marcus said. "I can come back later." "No, it's fine," Dr. Hayes replied. Dr. Cooper was just leaving. The scientist gathered his papers with obvious irritation. "We'll continue this tomorrow, Victoria. Maybe the night shift will give us fresh ideas." After he left, Dr. Hayes rubbed her temples. She looked more tired than usual. "Rough day?" Marcus asked as he began emptying the trash. "Rough month," she replied. "We're having problems with some of our equipment. The alien technology isn't responding the way it should." Marcus continued cleaning, but he listened carefully. He had noticed things during his rounds that seemed odd, but he had not thought they were important. What kind of problems? He asked. Dr. Hayes looked at him with surprise. Most people avoided talking about work with her, especially technical matters. Energy fluctuations, she said. Random power spikes and drops that we can't explain. It's affecting our research. Marcus paused in his work. I've noticed something like that. On floor 25, there's a lab with equipment that hums differently at night. Sometimes it gets louder, sometimes quieter. I thought it was normal. Now Dr. Hayes was paying full attention. Which lab? The one at the end of the hall. Has those big blue machines that look like they're breathing. Dr. Hayes stood up quickly. Show me. They rode the elevator down to floor 25 in silence. Marcus led her to the laboratory he had mentioned. Through the glass wall they could see several large devices that pulsed with soft blue light. Right now they were quiet, humming at a low steady level. They're fine now, Dr. Hayes observed. Wait, Marcus said. It usually happens around this time. As they watched, one of the machines began to pulse brighter. The humming sound grew, louder, then softer, then louder again. The pattern seemed random. Dr. Hayes pulled out her phone and made a call. Frank, get up to Lab 25 right now. Bring the portable scanner. While they waited, Marcus pointed out other things he had noticed. That machine over there, the tall one, sometimes it makes a clicking sound. And see how that screen flickers? It's been doing that for about a week. Dr. Cooper arrived 10 minutes later looking annoyed at being called back to work. His attitude changed when he saw the fluctuating equipment. How long has this been happening? He asked. According to Marcus, about a week, Dr. Hayes replied. He's been observing it during his cleaning rounds. Dr. Cooper gave Marcus a skeptical look. You're the janitor? Yes, sir, Marcus replied politely. And you think you know something about alien technology? Dr. Hayes stepped forward. He's been watching these machines every night. We haven't. Dr. Cooper began running tests with his scanner. The readings confirmed what Marcus had observed. The energy fluctuations were real and they were getting worse. This could be serious, Dr. Cooper admitted. If these patterns spread to other equipment, it could affect our entire research program. Over the next hour, Marcus led them to 3 other laboratories where he had noticed similar problems. In each case, his observations proved accurate. Equipment that seemed fine during the day showed clear signs of malfunction at night. Why didn't anyone else notice this? Dr. Hayes asked. Most of the day shift leaves by 6, Marcus explained. The night security guards just walk through quickly. I'm the only one who spends time on each floor. Dr. Cooper was taking notes rapidly. We need to set up monitoring equipment immediately. This could be a major breakthrough in understanding how these systems work. As they returned to Dr. Hayes's office, she walked beside Marcus instead of ahead of him. Thank you, she said quietly. Your observations might have saved us months of failed experiments. I just noticed things that seemed different, Marcus replied. My daughter always says I pay too much attention to details. Your daughter sounds smart. She is. Smarter than me, that's for sure. Dr. Hayes smiled slightly. I doubt that. Back in her office, she poured 2 cups of coffee from the pot Marcus had made earlier. Tell me about her, she said, handing him a cup. Marcus was surprised by her interest, but he found himself talking about Maya's love of science, her curiosity about everything, and her dreams of exploring space. Dr. Hayes listened without interrupting, asking questions that showed she was really paying attention. She sounds wonderful, Dr. Hayes said when he finished. She's the best thing in my life, Marcus replied. Everything I do is for her. Something in Dr. Hayes's expression changed. For a moment, her usual cold mask slipped, and Marcus saw something vulnerable underneath. That's a lucky daughter, she said softly. As Marcus prepared to continue his rounds, Dr. Hayes stopped him at the door. Marcus, would you mind continuing to watch the equipment? Let me know if you notice anything else unusual. Of course, ma'am. And, Marcus, call me Victoria. Anyone who might have solved our biggest research problem deserves to use my first name. As Marcus continued his work that night, he thought about the conversation. Dr. Hayes seemed different than her reputation suggested. She was still serious and focused, but she had listened to him with respect. She had treated his observations as valuable, not dismissed them because he was just a janitor. For the first time since starting this job, Marcus felt like he was doing more than just cleaning buildings. He was helping with something important, something that might make the world better for Maya and other children. The alien devices hummed quietly around him as he worked, their blue light reflecting off the polished floors. He paid attention to every sound, every flicker of light, knowing that his observations might matter more than anyone had expected. 2 months had passed since Marcus first noticed the equipment problems. His observations had led to major discoveries about how alien technology worked differently at night than during the day. Dr. Cooper and his team had published 3 research papers based on Marcus's findings, and stellar dynamics had received praise from government officials. Marcus still worked as a janitor, but now he also carried a small notebook where he wrote down anything unusual he noticed. Victoria had given him a special badge that let him access all the laboratories, not just to clean them, but to observe the equipment. The relationship between Marcus and Victoria had changed too. She no longer worked alone in her office every night. Instead, she would wait for him to finish his rounds on her floor and they would talk over coffee. Sometimes they discussed the alien technology, but often they talked about other things. Tonight, Marcus knocked on Victoria's office door at 3 in the morning, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Come in," she called. "I've been waiting for you." Victoria sat behind her desk, but she looked different. Instead of her usual business suit, she wore a simple sweater and jeans. Her hair was loose around her shoulders instead of pulled back tightly. She looked younger and less intimidating. "You look tired," Marcus said, setting a coffee cup on her desk. "I am tired," she admitted. "I've been working on the same problem for 6 hours. Sometimes I think better when I talk to someone else about it." Marcus sat in the chair across from her desk. Over the past weeks, this had become their routine. Victoria would explain her work problems and Marcus would ask simple questions that sometimes led to new ideas. "What's the problem tonight?" he asked. Victoria turned her computer screen toward him. It showed a complex diagram with lines and symbols that Marcus did not understand. "We're trying to figure out how to make our computers talk to alien computers," she said. "The aliens use a completely different kind of logic than we do. Their machines think in ways that don't make sense to us." Marcus studied the diagram. "What do you mean by different logic?" "Well, our computers use yes or no answers. Something is either true or false, on or off. But alien computers seem to have many different answers between yes and no. They think in possibilities and feelings, not just facts." Marcus nodded slowly. "That sounds like how people think." Victoria looked at him with surprise. "What do you mean?" "When Maya asks me if she can do something, I don't just say yes or no. I think about lots of things. Is it safe? Will it make her happy? What might happen? Will she learn something? My answer depends on all of those things together." Victoria stared at the screen, then at Marcus. "That's exactly what the alien computers do. They consider multiple factors at the same time instead of following simple rules." She began typing rapidly on her keyboard. "Marcus, you might have just solved a problem that our best programmers have been working on for months." While Victoria worked, Marcus looked around her office. He had cleaned it hundreds of times, but tonight he noticed things he had not seen before. Behind her desk hung a small photograph of a young girl with dark hair. "Is that your daughter?" he asked. Victoria's typing stopped. She turned to look at the photograph, and her expression became sad. "That's my sister, Amy. She died in a car accident when she was 12. I was 15. Marcus felt a deep sadness for her. "I'm sorry, that must have been terrible. It was the worst thing that ever happened to our family. My parents never recovered. They got divorced 2 years later. My mother moved to Florida, and my father started drinking too much." Victoria touched the alien artifact on her desk. Its blue light pulsed gently. "After Amy died, I threw myself into studying. Science became my escape. I got perfect grades, went to the best colleges, and focused on my career. I told myself that work was more important than relationships." "Is that why people think you're cold?" Marcus asked gently. Victoria nodded. "It's easier to keep people at a distance. If you don't get close to anyone, they can't leave you or get hurt. Marcus understood. After Maya's mother left, he had felt the same way for a while. But Maya needed him to be open and loving, so he had learned to trust again. That sounds lonely, he said. It is lonely, Victoria admitted. But it's also safe. They sat in comfortable silence for a few minutes. Then Victoria asked, "What about you? It must be hard raising Maya by yourself." Marcus smiled. "It's the best job I've ever had. Maya makes everything worth it. When she laughs, when she learns something new, when she hugs me before bed, I know I'm doing something right." "Don't you ever get scared? Worried about making mistakes?" "Every day," Marcus said honestly. "I worry about money, about whether I'm teaching her the right things, about what will happen if something happens to me. But I've learned that love is stronger than fear." Victoria looked at him with something like wonder. "How do you do it? How do you stay so positive when life is so hard?" Marcus thought for a moment. "I guess I focus on what I have instead of what I don't have. I have Maya, I have a job, I have a place to live. We're healthy and we love each other. That's more than some people have." "I've spent so much time focusing on what I lost," Victoria said quietly. "My sister, my parents' marriage, the normal childhood I never got to have. Maybe I should try thinking about what I still have." "What do you have?" Marcus asked. Victoria considered the question seriously. "I have work that matters. I'm helping humanity learn about the universe. I have enough money to live comfortably. And lately I have a friend who makes me laugh and helps me think about problems in new ways." Marcus smiled. "That sounds like a good list." Victoria saved her work on the computer and closed it. "Marcus, can I ask you something personal?" "Sure." "When Maya's mother left, how did you explain it to her?" Marcus had wondered why Victoria was asking personal questions tonight. Now he thought he understood. "I told her the truth, but in a way she could understand. I said that some people aren't ready to be parents, and that's not anyone's fault. I told her that her mother leaving didn't mean Maya wasn't lovable. It just meant her mother had problems she needed to solve by herself." "Did Maya believe you?" "First she blamed herself. Kids always do that. But over time she saw that I wasn't going anywhere, and she started to trust that she was safe with me." Victoria was quiet for a long time. Finally she said, "I blamed myself when Amy died. I thought if I had been a better sister, maybe she wouldn't have been in that car that night." "You were 15, Marcus said gently. "That wasn't your responsibility." "I know that now, but I didn't know it then. I spent 20 years trying to be perfect so nothing bad would happen again." Marcus reached across the desk and touched her hand briefly. "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real." Victoria looked at their hands, surprised by the simple gesture of comfort. When was the last time someone had touched her with kindness instead of wanting something from her? "Thank you," she said softly. As Marcus prepared to leave and finish his rounds, Victoria called his name. "Marcus, would you and Maya like to have dinner sometime? I mean, if that's not too weird. I'd like to meet the daughter who raised such a wise father." Marcus smiled widely. "Maya would love that. She's been asking about the lady I work with who knows about aliens." "You told her about me?" "Of course. Maya's my best friend. I tell her about all the important people in my life." After Marcus left, Victoria sat in her quiet office looking at the photograph of her sister. For the first time in years, thinking about Amy made her smile instead of cry. Maybe it was time to stop hiding from life and start living it again. The dinner had gone better than Victoria had hoped. Maya was everything Marcus had described and more. The 8-year-old girl had asked dozens of questions about space, aliens, and science. She had also made Victoria laugh more in one evening than she had laughed in years. "Miss Victoria," Maya had said over dessert, "my dad says you're the smartest person he knows. Can you teach me about the stars?" Victoria had felt something warm and unfamiliar in her chest. "I would love to teach you about the stars, Maya." That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, Victoria had started leaving work earlier some nights to have dinner with Marcus and Maya. She had even helped Maya with a science project about the solar system. For the first time since her sister died, Victoria felt like she was part of a family. But tonight was different. Tonight, everything changed. Marcus arrived at work to find the building buzzing with activity. Scientists and government officials hurried through the hallways. Security guards stood at every entrance. Something was very wrong. Betty met him at the employee entrance. Her face was pale with worry. "Marcus, thank goodness you're here," she said. "They've been asking for you. Something big is happening." "What kind of something big?" Marcus asked. "Alien ships. They showed up about 2 hours ago. Not the friendly ones we know. These are different, bigger, and they're not answering our calls." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Where's Dr. Hayes?" 30th floor. "She's been in meetings with military people all night." Marcus rode the elevator up, his mind racing. If there was danger, he needed to think about Maya. Mrs. Rodriguez was watching, her tonight. But what if the danger was bigger than just the building? The 30th floor looked like a war room. People in military uniforms stood around tables covered with maps and computer screens. Victoria stood in the center of it all, her face calm, but her eyes showing the stress she felt. When she saw Marcus, she walked over to him quickly. "Marcus, I'm glad you're here. We have a serious problem." She led him to a quiet corner where they could talk privately. "3 alien ships appeared in orbit 2 hours ago," she explained. "They're not from the species we've been working with. Our alien friends are as surprised as we are. These new ships won't respond to any communication." "What do they want?" Marcus asked. "We don't know, but they're scanning our planet with some kind of energy beam. Our satellites show they're focused on areas with high technology, cities, power plants, and places like this building." Marcus looked around at all the activity. "What can we do?" Victoria's expression was grim. "That's the problem. Our defense systems aren't ready for this kind of threat. We've been so focused on learning from our alien friends that we didn't prepare for hostile aliens." A military officer approached them. "Dr. Hayes, we need to discuss the interface procedure." Victoria nodded, then turned back to Marcus. "I have to go into another meeting. Can you wait for me?" "Of course." Marcus spent the next hour watching the organized chaos around him. He listened to conversations about weapon systems, evacuation, plans, and something called an interface procedure that seemed to make everyone nervous. Finally, Victoria returned. She looked exhausted and frightened. "Marcus, I need to tell you something. There might be a way to communicate with these new aliens, but it's dangerous." She explained that the alien artifact on her desk was more than just a gift. It was a communication device that could let a human mind connect directly with alien technology. "I'm the only person who has ever successfully used it," Victoria said. 5 years ago, when the first aliens arrived, I was the one who made contact. That's how I became the CEO of this company." "What happened when you used it before?" Marcus asked. "I was unconscious for 3 days. When I woke up, I could understand some of their language and technology, but the doctors said it changed my brain in ways they still don't understand." Marcus felt a chill of fear. "And you want to do it again?" "I have to. If these new aliens are hostile, they could destroy everything. Our cities, our people, Maya's future. I can't let that happen without trying to stop it." Marcus understood. Victoria was willing to risk her life to protect humanity, just like he would risk his life to protect Maya. "How dangerous is it?" he asked. "The doctors don't know." "My brain is already changed from the first time. Using the device again might kill me, or it might leave me permanently damaged." They looked at each other in silence. Marcus saw the fear in Victoria's eyes, but also her determination. "I'm scared, Marcus," she admitted quietly. "I've spent so many years avoiding relationships because I was afraid of losing people. Now I finally have people I care about, and I might have to leave them anyway." Marcus took her hand. "You're not leaving us, you're protecting us. There's a difference. What if something goes wrong? What if I don't come back? Then Maya and I will remember that you were brave enough to try to save the world. But I believe you'll come back. You're stronger than you think." Victoria squeezed his hand. "Will you stay with me during the procedure? I know it's a lot to ask, but I don't want to be alone. Of course I'll stay. The procedure was set up in Victoria's office. The military had cleared the floor except for essential personnel. Doctors brought medical equipment to monitor Victoria's vital signs. The alien artifact was placed on a special mooch table next to her desk. As the doctors prepared Victoria for the interface, she and Marcus had a few minutes alone. Marcus, if something happens to me, I want you to know that these past few months have been the happiest of my adult life. You and Maya brought something back into my world that I thought I had lost forever. What's that? Marcus asked. Hope. Love. The feeling that life is worth living for more than just work. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. Victoria, I need you to know something too. You've changed my life as well. You've shown Maya that smart women can do anything. You've shown me that it's possible to find love again, even when you think it's too late. Victoria looked at him with surprise. Love? Marcus nodded. I love you, Victoria. Maya loves you too. We're a family now, and families don't give up on each other. Victoria felt tears running down her cheeks. I love you too, Marcus, both of you. The doctors interrupted them. It was time to begin. Victoria lay down on a medical bed they had brought into the office. Electrodes were attached to her head to monitor her brain activity. The alien artifact was placed on her chest, its blue light pulsing steadily. Are you ready, Dr. Hayes? The lead doctor asked. Victoria looked at Marcus one more time. I'm ready. She closed her eyes and placed her hands on the artifact. Immediately, the blue light grew brighter. The pulsing became faster and more intense. Victoria's body went rigid, and then she was still. The monitor showed her brain activity spiking too, levels the doctors had never seen. Her heartbeat became irregular. The alien artifact now glowed so brightly that everyone in the room had to look away. Marcus held her hand, even though she could not feel it. Come back to us, Victoria. Maya needs you. I need you. Outside the building, the 3 alien ships stopped their scanning and began moving closer to Earth. The interface had begun, but no one knew if it would save humanity or destroy the woman who was trying to protect it. All Marcus could do was wait and hope that love would be strong enough to bring Victoria back home. Victoria had been unconscious for 18 hours. The alien artifact on her chest pulsed with a rhythm that matched her heartbeat, but her brain activity showed patterns the doctors had never seen before. Outside, the 3 hostile alien ships had stopped moving and hung silently in space as if they were waiting for something. Marcus had not left Victoria's side. He held her hand and talked to her, hoping she could hear him even though she could not respond. Maya was safe with Mrs. Rodriguez, but she kept calling to ask about Miss Victoria, the nice lady who teaches me about stars, Maya had said during her last call. Is she going to be okay, Daddy? Marcus had promised Maya that Victoria would be fine, but he was not sure he believed it himself. Dr. Cooper and his team worked frantically to understand what was happening. The alien artifact was sending signals into space, but they could not decode the messages. All they knew was that Victoria's mind was somehow connected to the hostile ships. On the 19th hour, something changed. Victoria's eyes suddenly opened, but they glowed with the same blue light as the artifact. When she spoke, her voice sounded different, like multiple people talking at the same time. Marcus, she said, but her voice echoed strangely. I can see them, I can see everything. The doctors gathered around her bed, checking their instruments. Her brain waves were off the charts, but she seemed stable. Victoria, can you hear me? Marcus asked. I can hear you. I can hear the aliens, too. There are so many voices, Marcus. They're not trying to hurt us. They're testing us. Testing us for what? Victoria's glowing eyes focused on him with effort. To see if humanity is ready to join the galactic community. The aliens we've been working with recommended us, but these others wanted proof. Dr. Cooper leaned forward. What kind of proof? They want to see how we handle crisis, how we work together, how we treat each other when we're afraid. Victoria's voice was getting stronger, more like her normal self. They've been watching us for months, studying our behavior, General Harrison, the military commander, stepped closer to the bed. Are they going to attack us? No, Victoria said. But they're not going to help us either, unless we prove we deserve it. They've seen too many species destroy themselves when they get advanced technology too quickly. The blue light in her eyes pulsed brighter. Marcus, they're showing me things, other worlds, other species. Some became peaceful and wise. Others used their new knowledge to make wars and destroy their planets. What do we have to do to prove ourselves? Marcus asked. Victoria was quiet for a long moment, her eyes closed as if she was listening to voices only she could hear. They want to see our leadership, she finally said. Not just our governments or our military. They want to see the leaders who care about others more than themselves, the people who make sacrifices for their families and communities. Marcus felt confused. I don't understand. What does that have to do with us? Victoria opened her eyes and looked directly at him. Marcus, they've been watching you too. They know about your work here, about how you care for Maya, about how you treat everyone with kindness even when life is hard for you. Me? Marcus felt shocked. I'm just a janitor. No, you're not just anything, Victoria said with a smile that looked more like her normal self. You're exactly the kind of person they want to see leading humanity. Someone who thinks about others before himself. Someone who solves problems with wisdom instead of force. The alien artifact on Victoria's chest pulsed brighter, and suddenly, the room filled with a holographic display. Images appeared in the air showing scenes from around the world, people helping each other during disasters, scientists sharing their discoveries freely, parents teaching their children to be kind. They're showing us what they want to see more of, Victoria explained. Cooperation instead of competition, wisdom instead of aggression, love instead of fear. General Harrison looked frustrated. How are we supposed to prove that in a few hours? These aliens could leave any time. Victoria's expression became serious. They want us to make a choice. They'll give us advanced technology that could solve all of our energy problems and let us travel between stars easily. But we have to promise to use it only for peaceful purposes. That sounds too easy, Dr. Cooper said suspiciously. It's not easy at all, Victoria replied. The technology comes with a condition. We have to choose our representatives to the galactic community, not politicians or military leaders. Regular people who have shown they care more about others than about power. Marcus felt a growing sense of understanding. They want people like you to be our ambassadors. Not just me, Marcus. They want people like you too. People who have proven they can handle responsibility without letting it corrupt them. The holographic display changed to show Marcus working in the building, helping scientists, taking care of Maya, and treating everyone with respect regardless of their job title. They've been watching how you handle being trusted with access to our most secret research, Victoria continued. You could have sold that information or used it for personal gain. Instead, you used it to help make discoveries that benefit everyone. Marcus felt overwhelmed. I just did what seemed right. That's exactly why they want you, Victoria said. Making the right choice when no one is forcing you to is the most important quality a leader can have. The alien artifact pulsed again, and Victoria listened to voices only she could hear. They're ready to make their offer official, she said. But first they want to meet with our potential representatives. Marcus, they want to talk to you. I don't know how to talk to aliens, Marcus protested. You know how to talk to people, Victoria replied. And according to them, that's exactly what they are. Just people from a different world who want to make sure their new neighbors will be good to live next to. Dr. Cooper was typing rapidly on his computer. Dr. Hayes, the energy readings from their ships are changing? They're preparing to do something. Victoria nodded. They're going to send a representative down to meet with us in person. General Harrison immediately began giving orders about security and protocols, but Victoria held up her hand. No weapons, no military escort, she said firmly. They want to meet as equals, not as conquerors and conquered. If we treat them like enemies, they'll assume we'll treat all aliens like enemies. Marcus squeezed Victoria's hand. Are you sure about this? Victoria's eyes had stopped glowing, but they still held an otherworldly wisdom. Marcus, I've seen their memories of other worlds. The species that succeeded were the ones that chose cooperation over control. The ones that failed were the ones that let fear make their decisions. What if I say the wrong thing? You won't, Victoria said with complete confidence. You'll say what's in your heart, and that's exactly what they need to hear. Outside the window, one of the alien ships began to glow brighter. A small craft detached from it and started descending toward Earth. Humanity's future depended on a conversation between a janitor and a being from the stars, with love and wisdom as their only weapons. The alien representative looked nothing like the movies had suggested. She was tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large dark eyes, but her face showed expressions that Marcus could understand. When she smiled, it looked like kindness. When she spoke, her voice was gentle and musical. I am called Zara, she said in perfect English. I am honored to meet you, Marcus Johnson. The meeting took place in Victoria's office with only Marcus, Victoria, and Dr. Cooper present. The military had wanted to send negotiators, but Zara had specifically requested to speak with Marcus alone. Why me? Marcus asked. I'm not a diplomat or a politician. Zara sat across from him, her movements graceful and calm. That is exactly why we want to speak with you. Politicians speak with careful words that often hide their true thoughts. You speak with honesty. Victoria, who was still weak from the interface procedure, sat nearby with the alien artifact in her hands. It glowed softly, helping to translate between human and alien thoughts. We have watched your species for many years, Zara continued. We have seen your wars, your greed, your destruction of your own planet. Many of my people believed humans were too dangerous to join our community. Marcus felt a sinking feeling. And now? Now we have also seen your love, your sacrifice, your ability to grow and change. We have seen fathers like you who work multiple jobs to give their children better lives. We have seen scientists like Victoria who risk everything to protect their people. We have seen ordinary humans do extraordinary things out of love. Zara touched a device on her wrist, and holographic images filled the room. They showed scenes from around the world, doctors helping patients, teachers inspiring students, neighbors helping neighbors during disasters. Your species has something rare in the galaxy, Zara said. You have the ability to love people you have never met. Most species only care for their immediate family or tribe. Humans care for strangers, for future generations, even for other species. That's not always true, Marcus said honestly. We have people who are selfish and cruel too. Yes, but they are not your leaders. When crisis comes, humans choose their best people to guide them. In our observations, species that do this survive and prosper. Species that choose leaders based on power or wealth usually destroy themselves. Victoria leaned forward. What are you offering us? Zara waved her hand, and the holographic display changed to show amazing technology. Spaceships that could travel between stars in days, machines that could clean polluted air and water, devices that could cure diseases. We offer partnership, Zara said. Access to technologies that will solve many of your problems, help in learning to live in harmony with your planet, and most importantly, membership in a community of peaceful species who work together to explore and protect the galaxy. What do you want in return? Marcus asked. We want you to remain who you are, Zara replied. Too many species lose their best qualities when they gain advanced technology. They become lazy, selfish, or aggressive. We want humans to keep your compassion, your creativity, your determination to help others. Dr. Cooper had been taking notes, frantically. How would this partnership work? Slowly and carefully, Zara answered. We will share technology gradually, starting with solutions to your environmental problems. We will establish cultural exchange programs so our species can learn from each other. And we will invite a small group of humans to serve as ambassadors to our community. Victoria and Marcus looked at each other. They both knew what was coming next. We would like you, Marcus, to be one of those ambassadors, Zara said. A long, With Victoria and a few others we have identified. People who understand that true leadership means serving others, not ruling them. Marcus felt overwhelmed. I don't know anything about diplomacy or space travel. I'm just a guy trying to raise his daughter. And that is exactly why you are perfect for this role, Zara said with a smile. You think like a father. You consider the long-term consequences of decisions. You want to build a better world for the next generation. These are the qualities we need in our community. What about Maya? Marcus asked. I can't leave my daughter. She would come with you, of course, Zara replied. In fact, we are very interested in her generation. Children who grow up learning about multiple species often become the best ambassadors of all. Victoria reached over and took Marcus's hand. It would be an amazing opportunity for Maya. She could learn about science and technology that doesn't exist on Earth yet. She could help build bridges between species. Marcus thought about his daughter's dream of exploring space and discovering new planets. This could give her opportunities beyond anything he had ever imagined. Where would we live? He asked. Zara touched her device again, and the hologram showed a beautiful space station orbiting a star with multiple planets. Gardens and parks could be seen through transparent walls, and beings from different species walked together peacefully. This is Haven Station, Zara explained. It serves as our diplomatic center. Families from many species live there together. Maya would attend school with children from dozens of different worlds, learning science and diplomacy together. And our work? Victoria asked. You would help establish protocols for peaceful contact between species. You would assist new species who want to join our community. And you would represent humanity's interests in galactic decisions. Marcus looked around Victoria's office, thinking about all the changes that had brought him to this moment. 6 months ago, he had been just a janitor trying to pay rent. Now he was being offered a chance to help shape humanity's future among the stars. Can we have time to think about it? He asked. Of course, Zara said, but not too much time. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and there are species who would prefer that humans never leave your solar system. The sooner you join our community, the safer you will be. 3 weeks later, Marcus stood with Maya and Victoria on the observation deck of a human transport ship. Below them, Earth grew smaller as they traveled toward their new home among the stars. Maya pressed her face against the window, her eyes wide with wonder. Daddy, look how beautiful it is. Victoria put her arm around Marcus's shoulders. Are you sure about this? Marcus smiled, watching his daughter's excitement about the adventure ahead. Maya wants to discover new planets. You want to unlock the secrets of the universe. And I want to build a better future for all of us. I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be. As they traveled toward Haven Station, Marcus thought about the journey that had brought them here. He had started as a single father working as a janitor. He was ending as an ambassador helping to guide humanity into a larger universe. But the most important things had not changed. He was still a father who loved his daughter. Victoria was still a scientist who wanted to help people. And Maya was still a curious girl who dreamed of exploring the stars. The only difference was that now, those dreams were about to come true.